Okay, it looks like we're rolling. My name's David. This is the video discussion for week one. We're talking about budgets and what we see as the biggest hurdles to our budgets. I'm kind of fortunate in my office at the registrar. We have a student fee that helps supply our revenue for our office. So my office in particular never really has revenue shortfalls, but the university does for a myriad of reasons. I think the one of the largest hurdles for the University of Iowa, and I think this is probably true for Iowa State and UNI, is the timeliness on when the Board of Regents decides the tuition rate. It used to be back in, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, that the Board of Regents would pass the tuition rates for the next year in November, which meant that our office could go ahead and populate those tuition tables, and then admissions would have some real numbers to go out and try to recruit students. You know, when you're talking to parents of students trying to get them to come to the university, it's always nice to have an accurate amount of what they expect to pay for their tuition. And if they don't have that, it makes it really hard to recruit. It also makes it really hard for the financial aid office to come up with a package of financial aid because they don't know how much the students are going to need. Um, Back about 5 years ago, because the state legislature was continuing to underfund the regent institutions, um, the Board of Regents decided to push off passing the tuition rates until after the legislature had come up with the education budget. And that generally doesn't happen until about April, right? So what that did immediately was, it used to be that the increase in tuition and fees would take hold in the summer of that new year. Now they don't, because it's just too late to get anything ready. So that is one of the largest problems that we have for the university, because it affects our ability to recruit and to increase admissions. The other big thing about admissions, which has started happening after the election of 2016, I'm just going to show you by pointing this at my laptop here, if I can get this thing to turn around right. Okay, I'll just do it like this here. So, let's see this. This is a graph that represents international enrollment trends for our university. And as you can see, since 2016, they've just been on a steady decline. Most of that's coming from mainland China, but there are really two variables at play that affect that. One is obviously politics, right? If we have an administration that is not friendly to certain countries, you're going to see a decrease in enrollment. The other variable involved is that mainland China has been investing more in universities in their own country, so they're able to retain their students much more. So we have to market ourselves better to do that. In terms of the Alpha College that is talked about in this chapter, there are a couple of items that I think are pretty crucial. I think it's pretty important to keep your faculty not only happy with relevant pay, or pay that is worthy of how much they're worth. It also makes your institution more marketable for really talented professors that are looking to move to your institution. So you need to have both a good salary base as well as a good healthcare plan. So I think those are essential. Those are, that list, those are probably the two things that I would say is a must. There were some other things too that I thought were valid as well. Some of the ones that I probably would have denied is maybe holding off a bit, like on resurfacing parking lots. I know that's like a pretty small amount compared to the big pie, but some of those are things that you can do. A lot of this type of exercise reminds me, because I was on a city council for 4 years, and we had to make these kinds of decisions, and it's always heart-wrenching to have to say to a department, no, you're not going to get funding to do this. I hate doing that. But when you're a small town, you don't have the ability to go into debt or print out money to fund what you need. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening.